Killing number 3. Sodom and Gomorrah. You may have noticed that God, after his first mass murder, showed a bit of remorse for needlessly drowning everything on earth. He even promised to never smite any more everything living, Genesis 8:21. And he kept his promise too, if you ignore the anti-Sodomite slaughter, killing number 2, for another 10 chapters or so. But in the end, God couldn't resist the temptation to kill again. Abraham tried to talk him out of it, though. He and God and a couple of God's friends had been hanging out all day together. But after getting their feet washed and eating a big meal, God and his friends decided it was time to go.
The Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, Wash your feet, and rest yourself under the tree. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and they did eat. Genesis 18:1-8.
They were heading off towards Sodom, and Abraham decided he'd better tag along.
The men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. 18:16.
As they were walking along, God said to himself, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do?
The Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? 18:17.
How's that for weird? God asks himself if he should tell Abraham what he is about to do, which is, of course, kill everyone in 2 cities. He doesn't know what to do. Is he afraid that Abe will talk him out of it? Or try to stop him, or what? Or is he just embarrassed to be having bad thoughts again? But God finally snaps out of it and tells Abraham what he's up to. He's heard that the people in Sodom have sinned, and he's decided to go to Sodom and see for himself.
The Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. 18:20-21.
Abraham was on to him right away. He said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
Abraham drew near, and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? 18:23.
God, who is in one of his moods, ignores him. So Abe starts to bargain. What if there are 50 good people in Sodom? Would you kill them too? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? 18:24-25.
God says if he can find 50 good citizens of Sodom, he won't kill everybody.
The Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. 18:26.
So Abe tries 45, and God says he wouldn't kill everyone if there were 45.
Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 45, I will not destroy it. 18:28.
Abe keeps going this way, knowing that God is a tad slow. How about 40, 30, 20, 10? And each time, God answers the same way. If he can find a few good men, well, 10 anyways, he won't kill the whole city.
He said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. 18:32.
And then God just takes off and Abraham goes home.
The Lord went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. 18:33.
But God's 2 friends, they're called angels now, keep going to Sodom. Lot invites them in and gives them the usual God treatment, washes their feet and feeds them.
There came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. He said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. 19:1-3.
Then a strange thing happened. Strange things often happen in the Bible. Every man in the city of Sodom came to Lot's house and demanded to have sex with Lot's 2 angel friends.
The men of Sodom compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. 19:4-5.
Man, those must have been some good-looking angels. Lot's response was to protect the angels, who you'd think could take care of themselves, by offering the sex-crazed mob his 2 virgin daughters instead.
Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. 19:8.
This is a man, by the way, whom the Bible calls just and righteous in 2 Peter 2:7-8. A few verses later, he will get drunk and impregnate both of his virgin daughters. See Genesis 19:30-38. But that's another lovely Bible story. As it turns out, though, there's no time for Lot to make good on his kind offer, because God is getting ready to commit another mass murder. The angels strike the Sodomites blind and tell Lot to flee along with his wife and virgin daughters, and their husbands.
But the men smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides? Son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place. The Lord hath sent us to destroy it. 19:10-13.
Then all hell breaks loose.
The Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. 19:24.
Okay, so that's it. That is God's second mass murder. But how many people did God smash and burn to death in Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, I, of course, have no idea. I don't think any of this actually happened. But I'll guess 2,000, 1,000 from each city.